I need to tell you about a major active storm period that is beginning right now across the United States. And what is coming over the next 7 to 10 days is going to affect virtually every region of this country in different ways. We are transitioning into a highly volatile weather pattern that is going to bring severe thunderstorms and tornadoes to the south, flooding rainfall to the central states, heavy mountain snow to the west, potential winter weather to the east, and record-breaking warmth to the northern plains. This is not a single storm system. This is a pattern shift that is going to generate multiple storm systems in rapid succession, and the impacts are going to overlap and compound across large portions of the country. I have been monitoring the evolution of this setup for several days, and the models are now showing strong agreement on the overall pattern, even though some of the individual details are still being worked out. What I am going to break down for you is the timeline of this active period, the specific threats for each region, where the greatest risks are going to be, and what you need to be prepared for as this unfolds. Let me start with what is driving this pattern change. The jet stream is undergoing a significant reconfiguration right now. We have been in a relatively quiet pattern for the past couple of weeks, but that is about to end. What we are seeing is the development of a strong trough over the western United States and a strong ridge building over the central and eastern United States. This configuration is going to create a very active storm track from the Pacific Northwest all the way across the country to the East Coast. Every time a disturbance ejects out of that western trough, it is going to have access to abundant Pacific moisture, and as it moves eastward, it is going to tap into warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico. The collision of these air masses is what is going to fuel the severe weather, the heavy rainfall, and the potential winter weather that we are going to see over the next week and a half. The first major system in this sequence is already beginning to take shape over the Pacific Northwest. Right now, we have an atmospheric river event underway that is bringing torrential rainfall to the coast of Washington and Oregon. This is a fire hose of moisture coming straight off the Pacific Ocean, and it is going to dump incredible amounts of precipitation over the next 48 to 72 hours. Coastal areas and lower elevations are going to see 4 to 8 inches of rain, and some localized areas could see even more. That is going to create significant flooding concerns, especially in areas near rivers and streams and in urban areas with poor drainage. But the more impressive aspect of this system is what is happening in the mountains. As this moisture pushes inland and encounters the Cascades and the Sierra Nevada, it is going to turn to heavy snow at the higher elevations, and I am talking about measured in feet snowfall. Over the next 3 to 4 days, some locations in the Sierra Nevada could see 6 to 10 feet of total snow accumulation. The Cascades could see 4 to 7 feet. This is going to be exceptional snow, and it is going to create extremely hazardous conditions in the mountains, including avalanche danger and impossible travel conditions. But that atmospheric river is just the beginning. Behind that system, we have another disturbance that is going to move onshore on Sunday, and that one is going to follow a very similar track. More heavy rain for the coast, more massive snow for the mountains, and then behind that, we have yet another system lined up for early next week. This is what meteorologists call a parade of storms, and it is going to keep the West Coast and the Rockies in an active pattern for at least the next 5 to 7 days. For the central and northern Rockies, including areas in Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, and Colorado, snowfall totals over the next week could easily exceed 3 to 5 feet in the higher elevations. Some of the favored locations could see even more than that. This is going to be a tremendous boost to the snowpack, which is critical for water supply later in the year. But it is also going to make backcountry travel extremely dangerous, and mountain passes are going to be difficult or impossible to navigate. Now, as these systems move inland from the west coast, they are going to track across the Rockies and into the central and southern plains, and this is where the severe weather threat is going to develop. The first significant severe weather outbreak is going to happen this weekend, and it is going to affect a large portion of the southern United States. What we are going to see is a powerful low-pressure system developing over the southern plains on Friday and Saturday, and ahead of that system, we are going to have a warm front lifting northward out of Texas. Along and ahead of that warm front, we are going to have extremely unstable air, and we are going to have strong wind shear aloft. That combination is going to create an environment that is very favorable for severe thunderstorms, including the potential for strong tornadoes, large hail, and damaging straight-line winds. The areas at greatest risk for severe weather this weekend are going to be across eastern Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, western Tennessee, and northern Alabama. The severe weather threat is going to begin on Friday afternoon and evening across East Texas and northern Louisiana, and then it is going to shift eastward into Mississippi and Alabama on Saturday. By Saturday night and into early Sunday, the threat is going to extend into Tennessee and possibly into Kentucky. This is a setup that has the potential to produce significant tornadoes, and I want to emphasize that some of these storms could occur at night, which makes them particularly dangerous because people are asleep and may not hear warnings in time. If you are in the South, you need to have multiple ways to receive warnings, you need to know where your safe place is, and you need to be ready to take action quickly if a tornado warning is issued for your area. But the severe weather threat is not going to end after this weekend. The pattern is going to support additional severe weather outbreaks as we move into next week. Each time a new system ejects out of the southwest and moves across the plains, we are going to have the potential for another round of severe storms. Right now, it looks like the middle of next week, possibly Tuesday or Wednesday, could bring another significant severe weather episode to areas from Texas to the Tennessee Valley and possibly even into the mid-Atlantic. The details are still uncertain this far out, but the overall pattern is clear. The South is going to be in the crosshairs for repeated severe weather threats over the next 7 to 10 days. At the same time that we are dealing with severe weather, we are also going to be dealing with very heavy rainfall across much of the central and southern United States. These storm systems are going to tap into deep tropical moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, and they are going to wring out that moisture as they move inland. Rainfall totals over the next 5 to 7 days are going to be in the 3 to 6 inch range across large portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Kentucky. Some localized areas, especially where we get training thunderstorms that move over the same locations repeatedly, could see even higher totals, possibly approaching 8 to 10 inches. That kind of rainfall is going to lead to significant flooding concerns. Flash flooding is going to be possible in urban areas and in areas with poor drainage. River flooding is going to become a concern as all of that water runs off into streams and rivers. Small creeks and streams could rise rapidly, and some rivers could reach moderate or even major flood stage if the rainfall totals verify on the higher end of the forecast range. Now, while the South is dealing with severe weather and flooding rainfall, we are going to see something completely different happening in the northern plains and the upper Midwest. A massive ridge of high pressure is going to build over that region, and it is going to pump extremely warm air northward. We are talking about temperatures that are going to be 30 to 40 degrees above normal for this time of year. Cities that would normally be in the 20s and 30s in mid-February are going to be in the 60s and 70s. There is a legitimate chance that some locations in the Dakotas, Nebraska, Iowa, and Illinois could approach or even break daily record high temperatures. Fargo, Sioux Falls, Des Moines, these cities could be seeing temperatures in the upper 60s or even low 70s, which is absolutely remarkable for February. This warm air surge is going to cause rapid snowmelt in areas that still have snow on the ground, and that could contribute to localized flooding in some areas, especially in areas with poor drainage or near rivers that are already running high. The warm air is also going to create some very sharp temperature gradients across the country. We are going to have record warmth in the northern plains, severe weather and heavy rain in the south, and the potential for winter weather in the east, all at the same time. This is a classic example of a highly amplified weather pattern, and it is the kind of pattern that creates volatile and rapidly changing conditions. Speaking of winter weather, there is a possibility that some of these storm systems could bring snow to parts of the Ohio Valley, the Mid-Atlantic, and the Northeast late this weekend or early next week. This is still very uncertain, and I want to be clear about that. The models are showing a range of possibilities, and there is a lot of disagreement about the details. But the overall pattern suggests that as one of these systems moves from the plains into the Great Lakes and the Northeast, it could encounter just enough cold air to produce snow on the backside of the system. The areas most likely to see snow, if it happens, are going to be across the Ohio Valley, including areas like southern Ohio, West Virginia, and western Pennsylvania, and possibly extending into the interior Mid-Atlantic and southern New England. Right now, the timing looks like Sunday night into Monday, but that could shift, and the amount of snow is very uncertain. Some models are showing just a coating to a couple of inches. Other models are showing the potential for 4 to 8 inches in some areas. This is something we are going to have to watch closely as we get closer, and the forecast is going to change as we get better data. One thing I am fairly confident about is that if we do see winter weather in the east, it is not going to last very long. The warm air that is building over the central United States is eventually going to spread eastward, and that is going to bring temperatures back up fairly quickly. So even if we do see some snow, it is probably not going to stick around for more than a day or two before temperatures moderate and the snow starts to melt. As we move toward the middle and end of next week, the pattern is going to remain very active. We are going to continue to see systems moving from west to east, and each one is going to bring the potential for impacts. The west is going to continue to see heavy mountain snow. The south is going to continue to see the threat of severe weather and heavy rainfall, and the central and northern plains are going to continue to see above normal temperatures, although the warmth may start to moderate somewhat as we get into the latter part of next week. This is a complex and evolving situation, and the forecast is going to continue to be refined as we get new data and as these systems develop. But the overall theme is clear. We are entering a very active period of weather that is going to affect every region of the country in some way. The West is going to see incredible mountain snow. The South is going to see severe weather and flooding rainfall. The Northern Plains are going to see record warmth, and the East may see some winter weather mixed in. This is the kind of pattern that keeps meteorologists very busy, and it is the kind of pattern that requires everyone to stay informed, monitor the forecast closely, and be prepared for rapidly changing conditions. Thank you for watching, and I will continue to provide updates as this active storm period unfolds over the coming days.